if you're getting down on yourself because maybe you're somebody who writes songs and you can't really tell if your songwriting's getting better, or mixing. You really can't tell from a day-to-day perspective if you're getting better. And all you know is you keep at this thing because you love doing it probably, but you're never really satisfied with your work. Or if you're a beat maker and you make beats, but at the end of it, you're always like, man, I'm never really satisfied with either the mix or what you put in there to make it something that you are loving at the end. You're never really quite happy. If that's the case, let me give you some helpful advice. Those things specifically, nobody knows whether they're getting better on a day-to-day basis simply because every day you're never going to always be happy with yourself. We wake up and we're in a flux of emotions always. We're a little sad, we're a little happy, and getting control of our emotions usually means doing something where you can see a clear definition of I am getting better amidst the rest of your, what you're doing, like mixing or writing songs or producing, in which you don't. In other words, on those things that you don't, if you don't also add something to your day that you can clearly see you're getting better. Like, for example, for me, it's playing guitar and working out. They both accomplish the same purpose for me. And I haven't been as crazy about working out as I used to be. And I plan on changing that because it really does wonders for your brain. But let's look at guitar, because a lot of us who are into mixing or producing, like we play an instrument probably. No matter what instrument you play, just the act of doing something new that you didn't know before. You strive to learn something. So maybe you learn a new scale, or you just, some sort of new technique. You can't do it. That playing the guitar, for example, which is what I do, if I'm sitting at the guitar and I'm practicing something new, if my fingers won't go to certain places because, I've never played this scale that way. I haven't played the augmented whatever scale. And I try to, incorporate that into my playing. And now it's not something I'm familiar with, right? So what will happen is the first day, I can't really do it. Maybe a week goes by, and if I've practiced an hour a day, every day I feel myself getting a little bit better. It's not a question. It's unequivocal. You can't deny that you're getting better because there's a limited number of variables in the experiment. In other words, the guitar is always the guitar. The frets are always the same distance. There's the same number of them. The tension on the string is the same. The pick I use, the weight of it, it's always a heavy pick. Everything's the same. The only thing that's different is me. The muscle memory that I develop over time and what I remember, how fast my brain is working to be able to accomplish it. That's all that's the variable. There's no other variables. That's it. So because of that, it's so easy to tell that you're getting better. Now, it's the same with working out. If you were to lift weights or run, every time you lift weights, after a week, you could probably lift a little more than you did the previous week. After 2 weeks, it's a little more. After 3 weeks, it's a little more because you keep getting stronger. And you can't deny that the numbers on the plates are going up. So you're obviously lifting more. So it's unequivocal. You absolutely are getting stronger. Or you're running. You can run faster, you can run longer, you're less tired. These are, you could do more sit-ups, you do more crunches. The more you do, you feel yourself getting stronger because now you can do more. The same thing with guitar for me. I can do more, and it's like no joke. I see it, I feel it. So by incorporating those things into my days that are also filled with something that doesn't give me that, like a mix, for example. If you're mixing a song with a totally different arrangement than another song, it's always going to sound different. It has different instruments in it. It's a different vibe. One's a different feeling. One's slow. One's fast. The notes being played will cause different problems to occur that have to be addressed differently. And it's a lot like building a puzzle that can look different every time you build it. So because there's so many variables in the experiment, because there's an infinite amount of tools you could decide to use or not. And because so much of it is literally based on how, in control of this you are in order to really know what you're hearing and not just make a bunch of moves that don't make anything better. because there's so many variables. It's so hard to tell with mixing that you're getting better. So what I'm saying is, just to keep a straight, keep your head on straight, you gotta do some of the stuff where it's like, no joke, you're getting better. For sure. And that will give you the strength and the energy to sit down and take part in another day of doing something that you really don't know if you're getting better at, like writing songs or mixing or mastering, or the things that you won't really know beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm getting better. A lot of that's based on your mood. If you're in a good mood that day, you'll feel like you are getting better. If you're in a bad mood, you'll feel like you're not getting better. So it's like, there's no right answer to that. So for me, I have to have something like the guitar. And when I get done playing the guitar for like an hour, I almost build up a sweat doing it. And I feel like it's like a mental thing where now my brain is worked out. Now I can sit down and go about my mix. So important to do that at all levels. A lot of guys who are super pro level, they don't just mix. They don't just write songs. Like, they're doing other things too, because you need that to fill your day with something that makes you feel good on a consistent basis. And a lot of us do mix to feel good, because like that might be your release from the rest of your day. But what I'm saying is, you have to, take note of what you're doing. You're doing something with so many variables that it's so hard to quantify improvement. So pick something that you can super easily, and you will be able to do more mixes. You'll be able to finish more, because you'll have that emboldened power to say, I'm done with this now. And even if it's not my, best work I've ever done in my life, I'll get better because I did another mix. Because that's the way you get better. You do more. You just keep doing more and more mixes. And anytime you make a mix that you're not really happy with afterwards, what you should say to yourself is, do not say to yourself that I'm not where I want to be and I'll never get there. That's not having control of your emotions, your thoughts, anything that goes on in here, all your emotes. You're out there being like, man, I'm never going to be what I would. If that's what you're thinking, that's literally you deciding that you will be somebody who doesn't achieve what they want. You could just as easily decide that you will. It's literally that easy. You say to yourself, I'm one mix closer to getting to a point where I am going to be happy every single mix. And it's the kind of thing where if you have people paying you on a regular, consistent basis, you will feel much better than you do if that's your goal. Or if your goal is simply just to finish a mix and always be happy with the results of the mix, because that sort of proves your song. It takes your song that you wrote, and now you're also the guy who mixes it. So now you're taking that to the next level, and you're like, this really gets the point of the song across, so I've accomplished my goal. Maybe that's your goal. Well, if that's your goal, you will feel so good when you get there and realize you will get there. Because even though you can't quantify the improvement on a day-to-day basis, it's happening. It's just not so readily apparent. You don't just notice it the same way you would something like working out or playing guitar or whatever instrument you play, when now you can do something because you've developed the muscle memory that you didn't have the day before. See, mixing's not muscle memory. Even if you have a console in front of you, it's not muscle memory because it's never the same twice. Whereas that scale ain't changing on the guitar. It's not changing. So you couldn't do it, and now you can. You don't need an audience. You don't need anybody to pay you. You don't need anything to tell you you just got better. And that will carry you through these other things, just like working out. So find whatever that is with you, whatever the thing is that you love to do that gives you that sense of relief, the sense of I'm getting better 100%. I know it, no question. And make sure that that goes, that you don't let go of that. Don't stop doing it. Keep doing that while you're doing the other stuff, whatever that is. But if you're over here watching me, it's probably something to do with music. It's probably something to do with mixing, writing songs, producing something. So you're not alone. Keep that in mind. And I think anyone who's ever gotten somewhere in this business has had moments of this, but it's the quality of your thoughts that you allow to exist in your head on a day-to-day basis that absolutely will control your future. It's not luck. It's not luck, the people that wind up getting successful. Those people had less time spent on these negative thoughts that they were never going to achieve everything. I'm not saying they didn't spend any time thinking that way, because what I think, the way I look at it is everybody experiences those, because that's a human thing. They just don't dwell in it. They don't sit there. They don't let it ruminate and ruin their whole day, because that's one less day they have to get something done where they know they're one closer to being great at whatever it is they're trying to do. Because everybody who got great didn't start that way. They walked before they could run. It's the same thing. No matter what you do or want to do, it's exactly the same. You got to control the quality of your thoughts in order to get to a point where you don't let it ruin your day. All right? The idea that you'll never have them is not realistic. The realistic thing is that when you have them, you get rid of them and replace them with real thoughts. Real thoughts meaning thoughts that will help you, because your brain cannot tell the difference between your imaginary thoughts that you'll never be a success and your imaginary thoughts that you will be someone who's extremely successful, that you will be someone who's getting paid to do whatever you love to do, or you will be someone who will simply be happy by doing whatever you want to do because you've gotten so good at it that now you make yourself happy. Every time you hear your work, you're happy with it. If that's your goal, or getting paid, or getting known, or get whatever it is, doesn't matter. As soon as you get to a point where you're there, I'm telling you, the thoughts is what got you there. The people that get there have their thoughts under control. They have to. Otherwise, they'd ruin every day, like I'm sure a lot of you do. I know. All right, I was once a thought ruiner too. My thoughts would ruin my whole day. Wouldn't let me do nothing. Now, the thoughts I have when I remember these times, and sometimes I get those negative, I use it to talk to you guys, to try to help you to not be that way. Because I have the power to control my thoughts and to put it into energy to help other people. And you could do the same, no matter what it is. Just start by helping yourself, and then you can help other people too. Because that's what the thing is too. As soon as you get your stuff under control, you want to help other people. It's like you don't want to just be someone who's feeling good. You want to share it. And if you realize what it is that makes you not feel good, you also want to share that, because you want people to not be in that depressive state. That's what I want. I want you guys to be people who are in control of those negative thoughts. I hope you dug it. If you did, throw something in the comments. I really appreciate it. It furthers the channel, helps me get the message across to more people, and ultimately it'll help more people get out of their own head. So find that thing that keeps you on a path to knowing that you're doing better no matter what, and you pepper that in with the thing that's a little less certain. You know, it's still a certainty that you'll get where you're going if you control your thoughts. It's just there's no way to tell when. And you won't be able to see a clear sign that says, oh, I'm getting better, until it happens. And that's how I look at it. When it happens, you'll know it. But until it happens, it's going to be several days where you're just like, man, you could look at it two ways. Either this was a day where I'm still not where I want to be, or you look at it where you say, this is a day where I'm one step closer, one mix closer, one song closer, one beat closer. Whatever you do, I'm one closer to getting where I want to be. That's the power of the mind shift. Hit the like button if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy.